Hello everyone, welcome back to our new video. In this video, we have Chris with us. So Chris is a smart contract auditor and currently he is very popular in solo smart contract auditing. We will let Chris introduce himself before introduce. Chris, the stage is yours, so you can start by introducing yourself.
Hello, guys. It's a pleasure that you're having me here today. Thank you for inviting me. So, let me introduce myself quickly for those who don't know me. I'm Chris. I live in Bulgaria. It's a relatively small country here in Europe, for those of you who don't know it. And I have been involved in Web3 security for over 8 months already. So, before that, I worked in a big company here in Bulgaria in the cybersecurity field. After that, my closest friends, who is one of the best and most recognized people in the space currently, Pashov. I'm sure most of you know him from Twitter.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he, yeah, so he hooked me on Solidity after he started on a Solidity dev position in a startup company and motivated me to become a Solidity developer as well. But when I was ready to apply for such a position, couple of months later, he told me about Web3 security, which got me really intrigued. So I decided that it's worth it to switch paths at this point and to give my best to become an auditor. So one important things that I would like to say, which I know will motivate some people that will watch this, is that I didn't know any programming language before the Solidity. This is the only programming language I know because a lot of people are worried if they don't know Java or JavaScript before they start learning Solidity. Guys, it's totally fine, really. So since I decided to commit myself to being an auditor, I started to study daily, maybe about 35 to 40 plus hours a week, as well as working my regular cybersecurity job. And yeah, my journey began then and there.
So it's very motivating journey, right? So there, I also have came across many people who haven't learned any programming language and they've started Web3 security, all that solidity and stuff. And they are really doing very good on contests like Code Arena and Shadlock, etc. So yeah, this is a very good point. Like you don't need to have a programming language, right? I mean programming background to start with. You can simply start with learning Solidity and all those testing framework, and yeah, that's what you were saying, right?
Absolutely, absolutely,
So
100%.
so we have gathered a list of questions for you through Twitter and everywhere. So let me start with the first one. What skill and knowledge are required to become a successful smart contract auditor?
Okay, so now that I'm doing Web3 security for over 8 months, I came to the conclusion that you need three main qualities. The first one is problem solving. This is to find vulnerabilities. The second one is writing skills. So you can write a great report about what you have found. It's very important to describe the issues in an understandable manner. And the third one is public presence. You have to have a developed Twitter where you can share your reports to attract new customers, or maybe have a lot of connections with guys who are dealing with Web3 security, so they can refer you to when they are fully booked, for example. So yeah, basically, in my opinion, if you want to become a successful auditor, you have to strive to develop these qualities every day, such as myself. I'm personally working on these daily.
Yeah, we can see that a lot of alpha solidity tips and auditing tips come from your Twitter account, right? So every day I can see some of them. So
Yeah,
it's very good way for building our own brand and attracting the clients for the auditing, right? And it also helps the beginners who are just starting out to gain more knowledge for auditing. And yeah, it is definitely helping everyone, right?
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so what are the best resource which you used while learning smart contract auditing or security and stuffs?
Yes. So there are really a lot of different roadmaps and resources right now. So it's hard to choose, but I certainly know what worked out for me the best and what I recommend to every newbie who reaches out to me on Twitter or Discord, or even some of my friends in real life. So because a lot of people were reaching out to me, I have decided to post the roadmap that I have followed. I have that as a pinned thread in my Twitter profile, so you can go there and check it out. I'm sure it will be very helpful to everyone who is just starting. So besides that, what I'm doing mostly to learn and works out for me very well is reading past code arena or Sherlock reports, as well as solo audit reports of some of the security researchers in the space. I also read the very helpful tweets of some of the guys from Twitter, such as Pashov and Bytes032, for example.
Yeah.
And every time I struggle to understand something, I try to dig deeper, searching more info in Google, for example, reading articles about it, watching videos. And yeah, you just have to try your best to understand the harder things. Actually, I was watching one of Pashal's video recently. He had an interview with Andy Lee, I think, and he said something that is very true. If you find something hard, for example, you're reading something complex, something that is hard to understand in some code base, everybody find it hard, guys. Everybody hard it find to understand. It's not only you, but those people that push through it and try their best to understand it, these people become the good auditors. Because if you just quit when it's hard, doesn't get you anywhere really.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with it. So he also mentioned something like if you are not able to understand it right now, so you can keep it for later time and you can visit it later when you think that you can understand it and practice it right. So this is also a good methodology to follow. Not all of us are at same stage, right? So it may be difficult for some beginner to understand the advanced calculation work. So he or she may wait for some time. He or she may develop some more knowledge of mathematics or DeFi, and then after that he can go back to the same problem, same audit report. So it will definitely help them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I do this way.
So that's pretty well. So what are some common auditing tools or VS Code extensions or any website which you use while auditing your smart contracts?
So a lot of people are using all kinds of tools. And for example, I have also tried some of them like Slitter, and it's not bad at all, but I personally prefer to do all the work manually and by myself. One
Yeah.
technique I can think of right now that me and my partner, because I have a partner in the audits, which I recommend the newbies to do because it can be very helpful and fun. Even some of the top auditors like Zach O'Bront and Trust are doing it, and they actually have written a thread about this, about the benefits of this. And so the thing we do is to apply a threat model to our audit reports. This is a way to identify potential security threats and vulnerabilities that may exist within the code of the contract. This typically involves identifying potential attackers, their motivations, and the potential impact of a successful attack, for example. So we personally take a couple of steps in order to complete this process. I can share it with you sometime if you are interested. I think it will be very interesting for the newbies here, and it will be very helpful. So the first step is to read the docs and understand what exactly is the project doing. Then you can start reading the code and try to identify a couple of things. For example, what are the components of the protocol? How many smart contracts are there? What are they supposed to do? Do they collaborate in some ways? I mean, the smart contracts. What kind of libraries are they using? What are they inheriting? Then you try to identify what are the most important functions of the smart contracts that are used for the main business flow. The next thing is what roles are there. This will include all users participating in the system with various rights. For example, governance, owner, users, team members. And then you should try to identify potential attackers who potentially might not want you to succeed. Which role do most people have access to? And after that, you can you can think about what the attacker will want to achieve, what for the attacker will attack. uh, I mean, how can attacker can make your project unavailable? Uh,
Yeah,
does
I
he want
understand.
you to read some secret data, for example, or just harm your reputation? You can think about questions such as what from the project has value in the market, also what is the worst that could happen to the project, for example, to drain all the money, to steal an NFT, this kind of stuff. And in what case a project is losing money also. So you have to determine the key assets that you need to protect. This is very important. Then when you do this, then when you know what the attacker would like to achieve, it's time to play the hacker and think about how he would try to achieve these goals. And yeah, that's basically it. If you're interested in threat modeling, you can open some of my private audits, and it is included there, so you can read it through.
Okay, so that's a very great way to identify the vulnerabilities, right? So first of all, we need to identify all the possibility of where an attacker can harm the protocol or can loss a protocol or can drain the whole protocol, right? And then we can uh, apply our smart contract hacking methodologies to find these vulnerabilities, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. This is the thing.
So what are your methodologies? I mean, like, how do you proceed further after threat modeling?
Uh, okay, let me think about this. So in order to identify potential vulnerabilities, I will tell you what I do, what is my flow when I start audit. So basically, my auditing process goes like this. So first, I read the docs and try to understand what the contract is supposed to do, and to get an idea of the protocol. What service are they offering? For example, a token swap service, an Oracle service. Maybe they are offering a VRF service, and basically, you try to gather as much information as possible about the code you're going to audit. After that, I take a look at the code that I have to audit, starting with the smaller contracts and going forward with the bigger ones. But at this point, I'm just looking around, nothing focused. Then, after I take these two steps, I will have a very nice idea of what I will be auditing. But sometimes it's really hard to understand most of the things before you have looked line by line and actually think a lot for what you're reading very carefully. So this happens when you have some kind of unusual protocol, which is a lot complex, or the protocol team have decided to name their variables and functions in a way that it's not understandable right away. And then I start looking at the code base line by line again, starting with the smaller contracts. And when I say line by line, I mean it. I read everything, comments, semicolons, every little detail, starting with the license identifier, followed by the pragma statement, and so on. And yeah, from there you only have to read the code base over and over till you understand everything, which can be a lot of hours, of course, but that is the way to be successful here, in my opinion.
That's a very good methodology for auditing. Like, how do you stay updated in this space? What all resource do you follow to get update for maybe a new attack vector or anything going on?
Yeah, I personally spent at least 2 to 3 hours on Twitter daily, which I think is a lot for a social media. But I think Twitter has the alpha information. So if you follow the right people in the space, you will for sure stay up to date, because these people are constantly talking about the newest things, as well as posting different articles, different quizzes, amazing threads, made very simple to understand. So yeah, my advice to you, to the guys who are watching, the newbies, is to spend a lot of times on Twitter. Take time to analyze which people are worth following in the space. And for example, when I have started, I had Pashov, so I was watching from his followers, from the people he is following. And if you don't have any idea which people to follow, you can simply start from taking a look at my profile. You can see the people I'm following, for example. And yeah, another thing is that I communicate with a lot of people who are also solo auditors or audit for a company, and we discuss different kinds of topics related to Web3 security. Also, you should be definitely joining the Securium Discord, where there is a section called Mentors. There, where I believe C. Michel, which is maybe the top name in the space right now,
Yeah, yeah.
is it? Yeah, as well
He's
as
still,
Pashok.
yeah, he's still in the top one in the code arena, right? All time leaderboard.
Yeah. And there you can ask them questions or read their answers to previous asked questions toward them. So these are my main uh, things to stay updated and progress learning.
Yeah, the people in Web3 security are like very humble, right? So, no matter who you are, if you ask any question to anyone, so they will reply in a very good way. So it's not like someone like who is not answering you or something. If you do it properly, if you frame your right question, then they will definitely answer it, right? So they,
Of course, definitely. Actually, when I have just started, I was thinking about to become a developer, a Solidity developer, or to take the auditing path. And actually, I remember that then and there I asked C. Michel, which in the time he was like he made like over 1 million, I think, in Code Arena only, and he was like a god to everybody in the space. So I didn't have an expectation that he will reply to me, but actually I formed my questions, like you said, really nice, really understandable way. Didn't text him a long message and this kind of stuff, and he replied to me and gave me great advice. So yeah, when you guys are asking advices from some top auditors or even me, who is not on the one of the top auditors, if you frame your questions right, if you organize them well, I will reply every time, really. But sometimes people ask me really stupid things that they can just Google or just uh, visit my profile and see the information there. It's crazy.
yeah, I totally agree, right? So I also received some message like, how much are you earning in
Yeah.
auditing, right? So why does it matter to you, right? If you want to do it, ask any technical question or anything you want to, like, which will help you in going the path, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
there are many people like saying, I have learned Solidity and I have learned this, and I want to start auditing. This is a valid question, right? So I can guide him that you can do this after that CTF and all. But there
Yeah.
are few people who don't value you, so I also don't value them. And
Yeah. Of
those
course.
who ask a very good question or very polite way, so I also try to reply them.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
So we have another question. So what are the challenges and risks associated with the solar smart contract auditing field? And how are
Yes.
you mitigating them?
Yeah. So, in my opinion, there are many challenges in this space, such as what I'm talking about when you're a solo auditor, such as you may not have much clients this month, for example. Thus, you will not make much money, or some protocol that you have audited to be hacked, God forbid, of course. I and many other auditors, as I have discussed with them this question, believe that one audit is certainly not enough, and it's 100% recommended for a protocol to do a couple of audits, and that way it will be much safer, as some auditors, even the best ones in the space, have talked in interviews that it happened to them to miss vulnerabilities as they audit. So all in all, we are all humans and not everything can be perfect. Also, to mitigate this kind of things, something you can improve is you can on-chain monitor. This is strongly recommended because there you can observe when money are coming in and coming out, so you will be able to identify anomalies and react quickly. Concerning the not having much client part, I think this is the perfect time to upgrade your skills when you don't have a solo audit, for example, and learn as much as you can, read a lot of past reports, watch videos, or, for example, do some code arena or share contests to earn some extra money while you are also exercising for the solo auditing this way.
Okay, so you mentioned about code arena and Sherlock, right? So how is your solo smart contract auditing life different from that of when you were auditing at code arena or Sherlock?
Excuse me, could you repeat the question?
So I saw that you were also participating in code arena, right? Few months
Yes,
or
yes.
few weeks back. So how was your life then versus your life now when you are auditing as a solo auditor?
It's very different because when I was doing Call Arena, I'm not doing it right now because I have solo audits to do. But when I did this, I was working my regular cybersecurity job, so my life was really different from now. I'm not working for anybody right now. I don't have to go to the office. I'm more relaxed, uh, and yeah, it's very different. But the Code Arena was the thing that got me started here, so I respect it very much. Every time that I don't have an audit, a solo audit, I will try to participate if there are some good contests. And yeah, I really love Code Arenas because it allows everybody who has some potential and desire for Web3 security to contribute in some way to exercise. And I think this is a very nice way to prepare for the solo audits.
Yeah, I completely agree. So those people or those auditors who are at very early stage, so they will not get clients right away, right? So they can start with Code
Yeah,
Arena, and Code Arena will help them to get solo audit, right? So for example, if a auditor posts his Code Arena on Twitter and everything, right? So it attracts many clients as well. So this is
of
a
course,
very
of
good
course.
way for starting a career in solo smart contract auditing. So the next question is also the same, like what else can we do to build a reputation in a solo smart contract audit? What a beginner has to do.
Yeah, so I think you can build a pretty nice reputation when you show results. For example, you can show that you have found high-risk vulnerabilities in Code Arena, for example. You can show a text from a satisfied client who is very happy with your service. You have to prove that you are on time, on point every time. Do extra work that will impress people really. Also, I'm very happy to be in a position where I can help newbies with the beginner stuff. Of course, I'm not that advanced because I was in their position once, and to receive help and advices when you need it, this is one of the most precious and inspiring things because it gives you courage, it gives you motivation to keep going forward, even if you are confused or it's hard at this point. So honestly, I think my help for the other guys also gave me a reputation as that guy to some degree because some people are texting me, "Hey, bro, my friend told me you have helped him with something. Could you advise me about something?" And yeah, to be honest, it is very satisfying when you give back to the community and watch people grow. And about how to attract clients, for me, the main way I get clients is through Twitter. It's not some kind of a secret. I just post Web3 security related stuff. I'm passionate about what I do. Excuse me. Also, I post some of my results, and I guess clients are noticing that and they DM me from there. So, also through referrals, for example, if some solo auditors you may know is fully booked and has a client, he can recommend you for a percent of the deal, of course. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, that's pretty good way to build our own social profile, right? So what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on collaboration in audits? Recently, we have been collaborating with some very good people in the space, right? So what are your thoughts on that?
I think this is something that I should have done way before this point because I'm doing audits with my partner for a month, I think, but I wish I had started long before that because it's amazing. It's really amazing when two guys are reading the documentation. This is like the first part of the audit. Then you can hop on a call and discuss it. Uh, you may not understand something, but he can understand it, and the opposite. And you when you discuss it this way, you have a very nice idea of the project. Then after that, you start finding issues in the code base. This is also very helpful because he may not be sure about a potential bug that I have not noticed. And when we discuss it, we can come to a conclusion if it's really a problem, if it's not. And yeah, it's very, very helpful. You progress 5 times more than when you're doing it solo. For That's my personal opinion. And also, it's fun. It's fun. You do the same thing with. It will be better if you do it with a friend. For me, I do it with a friend, so it's it's good for bonding. You build a relationship, you make money together, you give to the community back, you secure the protocols. So I don't know, I love it, I love it. I recommend it to everybody to try it. Also, go to the profile of Zaco Bront. He I think he or Trust, but I think Zaco Bront has have written a thread about this, that about his partnership with Trust. So go and check it out. You will see a lot of benefits. A lot of benefits.
Yeah, I completely agree with it, right? So when we are two of us, we both have different perspective towards the code, right? So
Yes.
there is a very high chance of finding some work that our partner missed, and we can learn overall with each other. So
Yeah.
yeah. So it's my personal question. So what are you doing when you are not auditing?
Oh, that's a nice question. So I'm very into sports. I do boxing, I do hikes, I do running. So in my free time, I either do sports, which I think is very important when you're auditing because you're sitting a lot in front of the computer and you need to change the scenery. You need to take your mind off it. So when you come back, it's really nice. You have a clear head and can find a lot of more things than before when you sit on the computer for 10 hours, for example, and your brain is fried. What else? I like to travel. I like to travel the world to experience new things, to go out with my friends, maybe have a drink, to take on a walk. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, so it will like help you in auditing, right? So when you are playing or doing some other sports, your mind becomes fresh, right? So you can have a look at the code with a new perspective again, right? So it will
So
definitely help with it.
yeah, I will suggest all of the guys to do this because it's a game changer, really. Don't just sit on a computer for 10 hours and when you're stuck in something to understand it or you can't find any bugs, you're thinking you're stupid or something like that. Just go for a walk, come back, try again, then go do some sports, try again. You will see it is certainly better this way.
Yeah, completely agree. So one more question. So have you tried any bug bounty platform like Immunify or Hackenproof?
No, for the moment, no. I'm very excited to one day try Immunify because there are the big players and the big money, of course. But it requires certainly a whole new level that I don't think I've reached yet, but I'm on my way to there. So yeah, maybe soon, maybe in a couple of months. I hope so.
Yeah, so that's great. So any advice or anything you want to give to the beginners before ending this conference or video?
Yeah, so guys, be curious, read a lot, and research. After all, your job is a security researcher, so you have to develop the skill to research daily. as much as you can. So do not give up. I know sometimes you all feel this way, but I can assure you it's worth it in the end.
Yeah, so yeah, we need to be curious for anything that comes right away, right? So any
Yeah,
hacks or any new attack vectors, we need to just research about them, understand more. It is
yeah,
like common if you don't understand it in the first time, right? So reading it once will not make us understand it fully, but reading it multiple times will definitely help us in the long run.
yeah, 100%.
So, Chris, thanks for joining us. We are very glad that you came and you shared your insight about auditing and everything in the space. So, thanks a lot.
Thank you as well. Bye bye.
Bye. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.